Hello everybody, Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you the Legacy deck that I used in my best of 3 match against Fizz or Fizzy Stardust, and that is a Darkrai Hydreigon deck. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and maybe subscribe. It helps us out a lot and lets us do more for you guys. And as for the question of the day, what is your favorite energy card? Now, I know that that's like a, wait, do you mean like darkness, fire, lightning? Well, yes, kind of, but I mean more along the lines of like special energy. However, I am including regular energy in this question as well. And this, like, in the TCG, there have been so many different types of energy cards. There's been like double colorless, prism, blend. I mean, just in this deck, I'm using prism and blend, but then there's two types of blend energy. There's plasma energy. There's been like boost, warp, double rainbow, rainbow, and then like the Holland's Pokemon that can be attached to energy cards and stuff like that. There have been so many different energy cards, and I want to know what is your guys' favorite. Honestly, my favorite would have to be the boost energy from all the way back in Aquapolis, because it was essentially the hyper offense energy card, and anybody that knows me and knew me when I played a Showdown and stuff like that, they would know that hyper offense is 1000% my favorite style. And boost energy is basically the TCG equivalent of hyper offense, because it provides 3 energy. You have to discard it at the end of the turn, and the Pokemon that the energy is attached to can't retreat. So it's basically the, you know what, going all in on this guy and hitting for a ton of damage this turn. And I mean, I'll be left in a vulnerable position after, but hopefully my hyper offense and hyper aggression will have put you in such a bad position that my vulnerability will not be able to be taken advantage of. So boost energy is my favorite. Leave a comment in the comment section below what your favorite energy card is and why. I would love to hear what you guys think. And okay, onto the deck. Like I said, this is centered around Darkrai, and I mean, 90% of Legacy can technically be centered around Darkrai. Okay, I exaggerate a lot because there are a ton of different Legacy decks that you can run, but Darkrai is just such an amazing card. I mean, you have the Dark Cloak ability, which gives any Pokemon with Darkness energy attached free retreat. Then you have Night Spear, 90 damage, and 30 to a bench Pokemon, which in Legacy is pretty good. In the current metagame, not so much, but in Legacy, this is a very, very, very good card and really defined the meta for the entire time that it was really in it. I mean, even in the expanded format nowadays, well, back in like regionals and stuff like that, you saw Darkrai still popping up. So even in today's massive, fast-hitting, hard-hitting meta, Darkrai is still finding its niche. And I mean, it just shows you how good of a card that was. Now, I am going with a Hydreigon variant of Darkrai. Hydreigon with the Dark Trance ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a Darkness energy attached to one of your Pokemon to another one. So basically, just use Darkrai's Dark Cloak to free retreat, use Hydreigon's Dark Trance to move energy around, and there's a whole strategy centered around that with like Max Potion and stuff like that. So these guys just have incredible synergy, and also the fact that Hydreigon has Dragon Blast, 140 damage, and discard 2 Darkness energy attached to this Pokemon. That really doesn't hurt as much as it would if it was another type of energy, because Dark has Dark Patch, so you discard 2 of those Dark energy, put them right back on with Dark Patch, and you're ready to go again. And also with Darkrai's Night Spear, you can put 30 damage on like a Mewtwo or a Keldeo or something, and if your opponent brings that up, well, Dragon Blast all of a sudden is able to knock them out from just that 30 prior damage. So these guys have absolutely incredible synergy, and that's what makes this deck so strong. I'm also running 2 Sableye, because I mean, Sableye, you might as well just throw Sableye in any Dark deck in Expanded or Legacy, because this card is ridiculously strong. I mean, it and Darkrai are 2 of the strongest cards in the entire game, just because of Junk Hunt. Put 2 item cards from your discard pile into your hand. This thing is super strong early game, super strong late game. I mean, this card, I cannot say enough about it. It just gives you setup so perfectly. I mean, you go for a turn 1, you get some stuff out, but then you Junk Hunt for 2 item cards in your discard pile that you absolutely needed for next turn to get you set up even further. And I mean, Sableye is an incredibly strong card that any Dark deck in Legacy or Expanded wants to run at least one copy. That's how good it is. And I know that Darkrai Hydreigon usually just ran these Pokemon as the Pokemon that are involved in the deck, but I decided to try to update it a little bit for all the cards that are allowed in Legacy, and so I threw a Virizion EX in there. And you might be thinking, well, why the heck would I throw a Virizion EX in there? I mean, aren't I using all Dark Energy, basically? Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, Darkrai and Hydreigon rely on Darkness Energy, with Hydreigon needing a Psychic, but because of that single Psychic requirement in Hydreigon's attack, we are running the Blend Energy, which is the Darkness, Fire, Psychic, and Grass. And this is where the Virizion comes in handy because, I mean, Blend Energy can count for any one of those energy types. So just slap it onto Darkrai or Hydreigon, and if they try to get affected with a special condition, well, and you have a Virizion on the bench, well, suddenly it's a Grass type, and your Pokemon cannot be affected by the status condition. If it needs to be moved around with Hydreigon, well, it's all of a sudden a Dark type, so it can be moved around. And if you want to Dragon Blast, well, then it is the Psychic type. So really, because of Blend Energy, Virizion works so well in this deck against decks like Landorus, well, especially Landorus, which can give this deck problems because of weakness. They rely a lot on Hypnotoxic Laser, and Virizion is able to just completely cancel that out with its Verdant Wind ability. So Virizion really has a nice spot in this deck and really has a good niche for this deck to help out with some of those matchups. Onto the items, running one computer search just to set up it better, and like I say before, always run computer search over Dowsing Machine if you have the option, because Dowsing Machine is just Junk Arm, except you can only run one copy, and you can run 4 copies of Junk Arm, so why the heck would you not run Junk Arm? I'm running 4 Dark Patch to accelerate as much energy as possible onto my Pokemon. I'm running a 3-1-3 line of Dinos, Vylus, and Hydreigon. The Dragon Dino, because of Landorus being able to one-shot the Dark Dino with Hammerhead, and so I just decided to go with the Dragon one. Then I'm running a Dark Xylus so I can have something to Dark Patch to if I need it. And then obviously this Hydreigon because of Dark Trance. So, I mean, that's why I run the 3-1-3 of these guys. I mean, I run the Dark Xylus, like I said, for the darkness type and being able to accelerate energy onto it with Dark Patch. But you can also run the Dragon and really not lose a lot in that sense. But anyway, back to the items. I'm running 1 Level Ball to get a Dino or a Xylus out. 1 single copy of Lost Remover. I mean, this card is so good against things like Plasma because you run 1 Lost Remover, but you run 4 Junk Arms, so you can potentially have 5 Lost Remover in a game, and that puts your opponent so far behind in energy that you can basically just overwhelm them at that point. I'm running 2 Max Potion because with Dark Trance you can just move all your energy off of a damaged Darkrai or something like that. Max Potion it up, move the energy back, and keep attacking. That's part of the strategy. A single copy of Pokemon Reversal just for the catcher effect. I mean, there are no guaranteed catcher effects in Legacy. Well, I mean, except for like Escape Rope, but that's not really a catcher effect. So I always want to run 1 or 2 copies of Reversal just to have that if I need it. Running 2 copies of Random Receiver to get a guaranteed supporter, 2 Rare Candy to get Dino straight into a Hydreigon and potentially a turn 2 Hydreigon, 1 Tool Scrapper to shut down Garbodor and stuff like that. And you notice I'm running like 1-1-1-1 because Junk Arm is there, so I'm able to reuse those if I absolutely need them. 3 Ultra Ball to get everything out. I'm not running 4 again because I have 4 Junk Arm to grab one if I absolutely need it. And then 1 Colress, 2 N, 4 Juniper, 3 Professor Oak's New Theory, and 1 Skyla for my supporter line. I'm running 1 Skyla. Normally I would just kind of omit it, but I'm running the 1 just in case I want to search out my Lost Remover or a Rare Candy or something like that. I'm running 2 Eviolite or Eviolite, however you want to say it, because it allows Darkrai to take hits a little better. And I could 100% run Dark Claw in this deck to power up Darkrai a little bit better, but because we have Hydreigon, you really don't need that extra 20 damage to set up the math a little better. So I decided that Darkrai should be able to take hits better, and especially in conjunction with Max Potion. Eviolite plus Max Potion plus Hydreigon really just makes Darkrai incredibly hard to take down, and that's why I love that combination so much and why I'm running 2 Eviolite instead of 2 Dark Claw. Running 4 of the Blend Energy because of the synergy with this deck, like I said before. I mean, you can run 3 of the 4 types of energy on this card, and I mean, this card is just so strong in what makes this deck work as well as it does. Running 1 Prism Energy, I don't know, because we're running some basics that, and you don't always want to have to rely on throwing a Blend Energy onto a Darkrai in order to be able to get the Verdant Wind ability. So running a Prism in there just so we can have Verdant Wind on a Darkrai while keeping the Blend Energy safe, because you want to keep the Blend Energy in play as often as possible so you have a Dragon Burst whenever you need it. So the Prism Energy is there, like I said, to be able to take advantage of Verdant Wind, but also not have to jeopardize the Blend Energy. And then finally running 6 Darkness Energy, so that I can go ahead and Dark Patch and attack, you know, with this deck. I mean, attacking is generally a good thing to do. So, you know what? I'm done rambling. Let's just go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against El Hueso. That's how, at least I think he's saying it. El Hueso, maybe, with a Psychic and Normal deck. Do get the coin flip. We do get to go first. That is great for us. So let's go ahead and do that. See if we can get a good setup. And oh man, this is beautiful. Oh wow, that is honestly like a perfect start because I can get a Darkrai down. I'm gonna wait on the Virizion just to see if this seems like the type of deck that would run Laser, and it might. And oh, this is beautiful. What I can go ahead and do: Ultra Ball, throw a Darkness into the discard pile, get rid of the Virizion because I don't think they'll be running Hypnotoxic Laser, to grab another Darkrai that I actually can Dark Patch onto. Go ahead and play that sucker down, play the regular Darkness onto the active, Level Ball for a Dino, and no way. Oh my gosh, all 3 of my Dino are prized. That is ridiculous. All 3 Dino are prized. Wow. Well, I mean, okay, guess this is just going to turn into a Darkrai Sableye deck with, I don't know. It's going to turn into a Darkrai Sableye deck with a bunch of dead cards until I'm able to take a prize, but geez, that is utterly ridiculous that all 3 of my Dino are prized. But either way, I'm just going to go ahead and get a bunch of Darkrai into play. Go for the Sableye right there, and then, I don't know, I'll just... Oh, I can Computer Search. Ooh, I can actually do something... So my opponent plays a Bouffalant down, which will kind of be a problem for this deck. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Computer Search away the Hydreigon and the Random Receiver to grab... do I want to grab the Dark Patch? Actually, no. Yeah, because I mean, I could to get an attack off, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Lost Remover, because odds are I'm going to draw into a Dark Patch or something like that. And the more I can slow my opponent down... Just kidding, I don't draw into a Dark Patch, but I do get a Blend Energy. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and throw that onto the Sableye and then start junk hunting for cards. Because, I mean, I do have Computer Search in the discard pile, which is great. And, oh, okay. So, I mean, even though my deck basically turned into a Darkrai Sableye deck with a bunch of dead Hydreigon cards, I mean, it still was able to work out just because Darkrai and Sableye are such a phenomenal combination. But obviously that match doesn't count. Let's just go ahead and try to find another and hope that all my Dino aren't prized in this next one. Alrighty, we have found another, hopefully longer one against Adhere 1995 with a, well, I think it's Adhere, it could be Adhere or something like that, with a completely normal deck. This better not be that Snorlax, like the Snorlax stall deck. Oh boy, we see the Plasma Coin, so I think this might be like the Snorlax Laser deck, which is actually why I freaking love having Virizion EX in this deck, because all of a sudden the lasers are they just don't do anything, because, I mean, Snorlax will not be able to do anything to you at all because they are completely reliant on you having, on them being able to laser you. Ugh, I cannot talk, guys, I'm sorry. So if you can shut down their ability to laser you, well, all of a sudden, you just kind of win. And okay, I get a pretty solid hand. If I can get something to discard... Oh, gross. We see a Crushing Hammer, so that could be a problem if my opponent is able to draw into them. So hopefully I will be able to just get something started up pretty quickly. And if I can get a Hydreigon going pretty fast, I can move all the energy onto the Darkrai that I got through Dark Patch and stuff like that. So it's not really the end of the world. And honestly, the best thing I could pull right here would be an Ultra Ball from the Mulligan or the top deck, because, I mean, that would allow me to discard the Dark Energy, get another... Darkrai onto the bench to be able to Dark Patch too and stuff like that. And okay, this is that stupid Snorlax deck. So this will be fun. I think it all depends on how well I'm able to keep my Blend Energy in play and how quickly I'm able to get my Virizion out. Because if I don't have a Virizion, this will be a very, very, very long match. And okay, my opponent does get a laser first turn. That's to be expected. Yeah, Skyling for the Verbank. That's to be expected as well. He's going to be able to play that down. But I do think I have a pretty solid chance at getting a Virizion this turn. I don't wake up, but that's not a big deal. I wouldn't be able to attack anyway, and I just top deck the Virizion. That is awesome. So let's just go ahead and play the Blend Energy down onto Darkrai, keep my opponent from being able to do anything. And oh, that is beautiful. That is just gorgeous. I draw into a Rare Candy Hydreigon for next turn. I draw into a Sableye. I draw into a Dino. That was perfect, and I'll be able to immediately get up to a Hydreigon, Dark Patch onto my Sableye, move the energy onto the Darkrai, and probably get a turn 2 Night Spear, which is amazing. And oh, my opponent ends me out of my hand. No, I liked this hand. But anyway, Virizion will be able to keep Hypnotoxic Laser from being able to do anything to me at all. And well, there you go. There's the junk. There's the not the junk hunt. The junk arm for a Dark Patch, and I could what I was going to do is Junk Arm, get rid of a Dark Energy, and an N to be able to double Dark Patch onto the Sableye. And then just Professor Oak's new theory, see if I could draw into a Rare Candy Hydreigon or something to that effect. But either way, I mean, Virizion coming through immediately for us and showing us exactly why I put it in this deck. And you know what? I'm going to try to find another one, and let's hope that it's a little longer than the first two ended up being. Alrighty, we have found another hopefully better match against Safari Warden, and oh boy, this is a fighting deck. Well, this could be interesting for us, but at least we'll see how we do against a deck that we inherently have the type disadvantage against, even though it says we have the advantage, but I don't know how we have the advantage if we have a Darkrai deck going up against a fighting deck. We do win the coin flip, that is great for us. I mean, my opponent will be able to Hammerhead first turn, but that's not too huge of a deal. And, oh, wow, okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start with a Sableye, because that way I can Junk Hunt onto my Darkrai on the bench. And then I'm going to go ahead and play that down, play the Dino down, hold on to the Virizion and the Sableye, just because, I mean, I really don't know if I will need them. And let's go ahead and play the Eviolite onto Eviolite. I don't know. I really just don't know. I'm sorry. Onto the Darkrai, go ahead and Computer Search, get rid of a Colress and a Sableye. Probably just going to grab a Juniper for the turn. Do I want to play the Virizion down? You know what? Yeah, I mean, that's Virizion's... Well, Landorus is why I have this matchup. And, oh, this is pretty. This is really pretty. Because what I can do... I have Computer Search. I can go ahead and actually... I want to play the energy onto the Sableye. You know what? I'm just going to play the energy, I think, onto the Darkrai. If I want to. I'm not sure. Because, I mean... I'll be Junk Arming for a Computer Search, which will make me discard 2 more cards. And that would leave me at a very low hand size. But you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Go ahead and Computer Search, or Junk Arm for the Computer Search. And then just go ahead and Dark Patch onto my Darkrai on the bench. And then this way, I can, even though I won't be able to get my manual attachment for the turn, I'll have a Computer Search for a Hydreigon next turn 100%, because I'll be able to discard whatever card I draw with my Computer Search, get rid of the Max Potion as well. I mean, the Max Potion being in the discard pile isn't inherently awful, just because, I mean, it'll be in the discard pile, but that way I'll be able to Junk Arm for it later. And okay, he starts going after the Dino. Oh, geez, that's gross. The Blend Energy is like the one thing I didn't want to have to discard with a Computer Search. I would have been even okay with discarding a Hydreigon. But alas, we have to get rid of a Blend Energy. I'm just going to go ahead and Rare Candy into a Hydreigon. And then immediately go for an N to get 6 more cards and hopefully something we can work with. And you know what? This is something we can work with. We're going to be able to get a turn to... Night Spear with our Darkrai. I'm going to go ahead and Junk Arm for a Dark Patch. Go ahead and go do that. Put it onto the Darkrai, go ahead and play the Blend Energy onto the Sableye. Let's go ahead and retreat into my Darkrai. Go ahead and Dark Trance. Throw the Blend Energy back onto the Darkrai, so I can now take advantage of Verdant Wind as well. if my opponent wants to go for a laser. And then I'll be able to two-shot the Landorus and put the Phanpy in range of being knocked out with a Dark Spear, with a Night Spear. But okay, I guess my opponent's gonna go ahead and evolve into Donphan Prime, and okay, was that yeah, the Exoskeleton actually gonna keep me from being able to take the one-hit knockout on the Donphan, which is unfortunate, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, and my opponent gets an actually very, very good hand. So I mean, that's annoying, but it's not horrible, and my opponent will just go for the Night Spear, or not the Night Spear, I have the Night Spear, he has the Hammerhead. And then, okay, I get another Juniper. Well, I'm just drawing all the cards I don't want to discard, aren't I? And then, ooh, there we go. What I can do is, what do I want to do? So Donphan will actually not be able to knock me out next turn with an Earthquake, and I will just be able to Skyla for a Max Potion or a Junk Arm or something like that to completely heal up my Darkrai. And what I think I'm going to do is just go ahead and Night Spear. Yeah, Donphan. I mean, it'll be doing 10 damage to it, and then I'll only be able to do 70 with the next Night Spear. So doing the Night Spear to the Donphan would do absolutely nothing in terms of damaging it more. So I think I'm just going to put 30 onto the Phanpy. Putting 30 on the Landorus wouldn't do anything either because it'll still take 2 Night Spears to knock it out. And okay, so I think I'm going to start rolling a little bit because I now have an Ultra Ball to get a Zvilis, or actually Ultra Ball for another Hydreigon, never mind, because my opponent just goes ahead and Getsuses me. And that was a very strong Getsus. I mean, I'll give him props on that one. That Getsus worked out perfectly for him, and haha, and this is where Virizion is coming through clutch, because the Virbank would have put me within 10 damage of being knocked out in combination with Earthquake, but because I have Verdant Wind, the Hypnotoxic Laser did nothing, and my opponent just concedes. So Virizion once again coming through absolutely clutch. That is awesome. I'm so happy to see that Virizion is working so well in this deck. And I mean, it was working so well that we were even able to take down a match that we had a type disadvantage. So that shows you how strong this deck can be. And you know what? I'm not even done showcasing this deck. Let's see if we can go ahead and try to find one more. Alrighty, we have found what will hopefully be our last match against Star Jackie with, I mean, that's got to be Plasma. There's no other type combination. Yeah, I mean, we even see the Plasma coin. There's no other type combination that would be. We do win the coin flip. That is great for us. Let's go ahead and go first. And this is a match where Lost Remover is going to come through absolutely clutch. Well, I mean, admittedly, we have to start with a Pokemon before anything at all can come through clutch. But, I mean, I think, you know what? Plasma is actually a phenomenal matchup for this deck. Not just because of the whole, you know, Lost Remover being able to set it back, but also the math on literally every single one of the Plasma attackers is amazing, because just with 30 damage from Night Spear, all of a sudden Dragon Blast knocks it out. And Hydreigon is so bulky that it really can't be taken down by too much. I mean, a Plasma Gale with, I think, 3... Plasma Gale with 3 Deoxys is what it would take to one-shot a Hydreigon, and even then, my opponent would only get 2 prizes. So, ooh, this is... If I can get something to discard that Dark Energy, that would be great. I mean, I start with a couple Darkrai. I mean, I can't complain about that start at all. That is a very, very, very nice start. I will want to get that Lost Remover up and going as quickly as possible. I mean, this is a match where only running 1 copy of Lost Remover might hurt a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, I don't want to tech too heavily against Plasma because my matchup is so good already, but I might as well throw that 1 tech card in there that's so strong against it. And oh my gosh, this is a phenomenal start. I can go ahead and Ultra Ball to grab a Dino, discarding a Dark Energy in the process. That way I'll be able to Dark Patch onto my Darkrai on the bench, play the Dino down, go ahead and Dark Patch onto my Darkrai. And I mean, I won't be able to play the Junk Arm, but I mean, the Junk Arm is just kind of a, well, I need another one of these, and oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. What I can do, yeah, let's go ahead and play the Sableye down. Go ahead and play the regular Darkness onto the Darkrai on the bench, probably. Or the Sableye. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I can move him around with Hydreigon. And then this is just so I can, like, Junk Hunt next turn if I need to. And if my opponent, like, if my opponent gets something started, then I can just go ahead and Junk Hunt anyway. So, I mean, I'm in a pretty good position. I have a Level Ball. I kind of wish that was an Ultra Ball or something like that, but I don't know. I have a computer search. I will be fine. What I can always do is just computer search for a Hydreigon, go ahead and rare candy the dino up into it, and then just move the energy around. Bring Sableye active and be able to junk hunt again for another, for the computer search again to be able to just keep going. And okay, my opponent gets the Kyurem down, gets 2 energy onto it. Okay. Just kidding. I'm going to want to get my Lost Remover up and going ASAP, hopefully draw an energy to be able to retreat that Darkrai so that I can just junk hunt the Lost Remover back. And oh, we see the Colorless Machine as well. Yeah, that Lost Remover is going to be very, very necessary very quickly. Yeah, so yeah, gonna want to find that and then start going. Even without Lost Remover, I think I said I still have the advantage in this matchup. But with Lost Remover, this matchup is just so ridiculously in my favor that I think it's like an 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. I mean, it's very, very heavily in my favor with Lost Remover on top of the math being so perfect with all my Pokemon and stuff like that. And okay, oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and computer search. You know what? I'm probably just going to go ahead and discard the... Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get the... Xylis. Actually, no, I'm level balling for the Xylis. What am I doing? I'm computer searching for the Lost Remover. Unless I don't have it. Oh no, it's prized. Oh, that is tragic. And I even discarded the rare candy. What? Ah, crap. Well, what I am going to do is just go ahead and Eviolite up the Darkrai. Go ahead and level ball for a Xylis. I'm in no hurry to get a Hydreigon up. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but let's just go ahead and Oak's New Theory. Go ahead and get 6 cards. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and slap a blend onto... Yeah, I'm going to play a blend onto this Darkrai. That way I can retreat it. What do I have in the discard pile that I can junk on for? I really don't want to junk on for anything right now. What I can do is go ahead and play the Eviolite onto the Sableye. Just reduce damage even more. Go ahead and junk hunt for the computer search, and you know what? Probably the Ultra Ball as well, just to be able to grab a Hydreigon. I don't have any Darkness energy in the discard pile, so grabbing a Dark Patch wouldn't do me much good. And this way, I can get a Hydreigon next turn. And I mean, I might just end up discarding the computer search anyway with my Juniper, but this way, at least I have the option of discarding it. And I mean, if I draw a useless card off the top of my deck, well, you know what? Then I can just go ahead and computer search for anything I need. And I'll be able to get a Night Spear off next turn anyway. It does suck a lot that I don't have the whole, you know, Lost Remover. That would be coming through so clutch right now because I'd be able to junk arm for it. And I would have been able to, like, discard, like, 2 or 3 energy at this point already. Well, not even discard. Put him in the Lost Zone so my opponent can't even ride a Knuckle for it. And yeah, my opponent is just going to Skyla, yeah, for a Float Stone, so he can just Rush Treat with Keldeo. And, I mean, my Sableye will actually not go down this turn. And this is another instance where the Eviolite is going to pay off hugely because the Blizzard Burn will not be able... Well, first off, the Frost Spear will only be able to do, like, 10 damage to my Darkrai on the bench. But then a Blizzard Burn will not be able to knock me out. I mean, he'd have to have... Actually, I don't think there's any combination of cards he could have if I have, like, my Virizion down and mitigating the whole, you know, damage from Hypnotoxic Laser and stuff like that. But without Hypnotoxic Laser, I don't think there's a combination of cards he has that will be able to knock out my Darkrai with Blizzard Burn next turn, so I will be able to go for a... whatchamacallit, a Night Spear and just 2-shot this Kyurem. And oh boy, I even get an Ultra Ball, so what I am just going to go ahead and do, grab that Hydreigon. I get a Max Potion that I can use, but I can also not use it. What I think I'm going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and... do I want a computer search? Yeah, let's just go ahead and computer search while we can. Get rid of the Junk Arm and the Max Potion. Probably grab... What do I want to grab right now? Probably... You know what, let's just grab another Blend Energy. Yeah, let's grab another Blend Energy, play that onto Hydreigon just to get... Or not Hydreigon, the Darkrai, just to get another energy in play. I even get the Tool Scrapper to be able to discard the Float Stone off of Keldeo. And yeah, I mean, I'm in a pretty solid position. I will be able to retreat my Sableye into my Darkrai to start Night Spearing. Actually, no, I want to... Well, I mean, if my opponent would have allowed me, I would have just gone ahead and gone into my Hydreigon, Dragon Blasted, knocked out the Kyurem. But, I mean, I still had, like, the Junk Arm for a Dark Patch next turn. I had an N, I had another energy. So I had plenty of energy in play. So the play right there was definitely going into Hydreigon and just Dragon Blasting, getting that Kyurem off the board and forcing my opponent into Deoxys attacking. But at that point, I might draw into my... Lost Remover, but at the same time, I could have just kept attacking with Night Spear and two-shotting everything while my opponent didn't have anything going. So that's the deck, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.